What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to another 5 Rounds show. You with me tonight?
Yeah, boy.
Oh, Jesus, man. So tonight we're going to be talking about the top 5 conspiracy theories that, 5 Rounds think, they're almost top there. But then if you're up here just joining us, if you're new to the channels, please like, subscribe, and hit up that bell for notification every time we come on Fridays. So tonight we have Montali and Patrick, and we're going to be talking about conspiracy theories and top 5, I think, so far. And so far, so good. I was just like, just digging in conspiracies and trying to figure out, what are the best and whatnot and stuff like that. We might be touching on a few, but we won't touch on like the rest of them and stuff like that. How you doing, guys? Sir?
Yeah,
good man. Good man, doing
bad.
Good. Finally off tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah. I care. I care. Finally off tomorrow. Spending the weekend with the family, enjoying. But you know what? We're still hustling.
Still
5
hustling,
rounds.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna
Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater.
Woo! Nah,
don't be a hater.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What about you, Antari? Like, are you ready for the weekend?
Yeah, man, I'm ready. We got Edna in the comments. Edna, what's going on? How you doing?
Edna?
We got Michael in the comments. What's going on, Michael? Man, what's going on?
How you doing,
guys?
Michael, man?
Who's ready to talk about conspiracy theories, man?
Who's ready?
There's so many, isn't it? So many. Now, just a warning. If we start talking, please don't get into certain ones, because if we see your camera off and quiet, we know you've been taken. So be careful. Be careful.
Oh, jeez, man. But then, guys, we're just talking about the conspiracy theories because then on top of it, sometimes it might sound crazy, sometimes it might sound real, and a lot of people keep on talking about all these conspiracies, and they never go away. When we talk about them, some might believe them, some might not. And we're just trying to, dig in and, talk about what happened and try to figure out if it's true or not, if one of us believes it or not and stuff like that. Montali, I'm just going to start having a conversation with everyone else, plus yourself, talking. Do you know of any conspiracy theory to mind at the moment?
Any conspiracy theories that I know about?
Yeah.
I mean, there's loads. There's loads of conspiracy theories. I think the one that we'll start with the most recent one, to be fair. Just like Michael here. Actually, you could ask the guys in the comments first. Yeah, guys in the comments, do you know any conspiracy theories as well? This is it's more like a round table. So for me, I think we can start with the most recent conspiracy theory, and that's COVID-19 and 5G. So there was one. This one was pretty much people believed. I mean, the theory was people said 5G is causing a acceleration in the spread of COVID. Somehow they said because 5G it travels through the air, COVID is using that to
But come on. Was it people are saying it's a distraction because a lot of people are against 5G, so they're saying COVID was a distraction. So those pores can be installed without us knowing. That's why we're locked away. I think something like that also.
That was the other one. Yeah, that was the. I mean, there was a lot tied to it. There was a lot tied to it, and also it was there were people with videos saying, "Look, there's a 5G mast here," and this guy's like, "Look, all these birds are dying near the 5G mast." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it means if you stay long on a 5G mast, you could die because of radiation poisoning. And there were so many things.
They said that the trees were dying around, stuff like that.
Yeah. So and also I think there was a lot tied to 5G. They were like, look, they're using COVID to, I guess, build these chips because 5G is coming. They'll be able to control you from anywhere. Because the connectivity of it is going to be good. So they're going to build these chips, which they're going to use as the vaccines to put in your body and control. Oh man, there's just so much. So yeah,
I think I learned about the chips there. Like it was RFID chip. It was more radio frequency chip. So they were talking about they're gonna plant it. They're gonna put it into the vaccine and stuff, and then inject you there.
And people were putting coins. People were putting coins. People were putting coins on the hand, saying that they're sticking because of the magnet.
Oh Jesus! Jesus!
Woo.
So
RFID, radio frequency identification.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
On the 5G network polls and whatsoever and stuff like that, and COVID-19, do you, in your situation, Wantali, do you believe it? Do you think there is a link to all of this, or there's just one of those fake news kind of things in your situation?
I mean, let's just on which part, because obviously I did mention a few. There was the one that people thought it was spreading COVID or accelerating COVID. I don't think so. Here you see, even Edna says 5G scared me. Honestly, you see, the propaganda was scaring people. So once you're scared, you believe anything. Especially when it comes close to you. Sorry, Michael says, look, I love me some conspiracy theories. He says, it's the flat earth theory for me. It's probably the funniest. Okay. We'll keep that one in mind. Yeah, flat earth. So back to the 5G one. So the 5G mass thing, I think, look, a lot of people were...
Wait. Before you go on, I just wanted to see, because so they're saying if you take a coin...
What?
Oh, they say, look.
Oh, the vaccine thing.
Yeah, for you to know there's a chip. So
if you take a coin and it sticks on you, you've got a chip in your body. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah. So what like?
Is there
like
a magnet?
It's not. So it's that one has been rubbish.
Okay.
That one has been rubbish then.
Yeah.
Okay.
When Daddy's been put off, is like, what the
yeah.
No, people had videos. It was all over TikTok. They were there and they were like, oh my God, look at that.
I thought you were about to start an OnlyFans right here, bro.
Nah. Nah, man. I just wanted to make sure, because people have been saying it, and I saw the TikToks. And at first, when I watched the TikToks from far, I was like, okay, but people were just getting that to get people riled up. But nothing. Look, guys, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. So yeah,
we can. So we've got. Sorry if I don't know how we pronounce this name, my friend. So I'll go with your last name, Van Balen. So can we let people join? Should we let people join, Mr. Pato? Okay. What we'll do is. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll let you join. We'll let you join so you can give us. Yeah, actually today we'll leave it open. So if you want to join, guys, we'll put the join link in the chat. There you go. So put the join link in the chat. Please keep it sensible and respect the people that are on the podcast. Respect the people that are watching as well. Van Balen, if you want to join, just click that link. Make sure you have a camera. If you just want to be on audio, you can hear what you need to say. So on the 5G part, right? Let's go back to this 5G thing.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
So as you can see, one theory about the whole chip in your body that Patrick has just said, look, if you put a coin on your arm, it proves that you have a chip. Again, nonsense.
Yeah, it sticks, so that means you have it now.
The whole 5G accelerates the spread of COVID. I think we know by now that COVID does move in the air, but 5G or anything else is a radio frequency. So I don't know how a radio frequency and air have anything to do with the spread of a virus. You know what I mean? So I think you got a better chance of radiation from a radio frequency than you do from getting COVID. So once again, that's not true. I think there were other things. What were the other things? I always see these things about, again, radiation poisoning with the birds and all these things. I mean, guys, we've had signals stronger than 5G for a long time. We've had microwaves, for example, which are in our house. Those things can cause radiation poisoning. There is insulation as well with these things. So a lot of people have been coming out with some information like saying, this expert said this. How credible is that expert that's telling you? They look at the extreme and think, okay, this is going to spread this illness. So that one, I didn't believe it from the start, to be honest. from the start.
So didn't you believe? But what about this other side where they were saying, obviously you were talking about COVID and 5G. So what about the side where they were saying the reason why they are making us? This is one I heard from a taxi driver, and spent the whole trip listening to him. And after him, he had his own.
Don't blame it on the cabbie.
I respect him. He says that the reason why this whole COVID thing is being pushed is because the government doesn't want to print paper money anymore. So they're getting us used to the fact of not having paper money. They want us to not like having paper money, because paper money also, we are scared that it will transfer the COVID thing. So that's the reason why the scanning now, the tap has been increased. He says very soon it's going to be increased at the point where we can buy anything with tap. You can buy a TV with just tapping it and a car, because the government says it's expensive to print paper money. So COVID was preparing us for that. So all this COVID is because the government doesn't want to print paper money because it's expensive. So I don't know if you guys think about it. Says because he wants digital. They want it to be a digital world. So that was his theory. I don't know if you guys feel that's a proper theory. Obviously, I was drinking that day, so I was listening to him, but also in my head I was like, please just drop me off somewhere, because I don't know what
All right, Mr. MP.
Yeah, I think we have somebody in the
We have somebody who's here. So again, Mr. Van Balen, how do we pronounce your name, by the way? Welcome to 5Roundz. Can you hear us? Hello.
Wait a second. I was busy with my. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you. We can hear you.
Welcome to 5Roundz.
I can hear you very bad. It's really soft. I was checking how I can up the volume.
We can actually hear you clearly.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Wait 1 second.
Yeah,
No
go ahead.
problem.
Take your time, man. Take your time.
Not a problem.
Just give it. Just let us know when you're ready. All right.
So
Okay.
Van Balen there was talking about flat Earth, is it?
No. That was Michael. Michael was talking
Michael,
about
is
flat
it?
Earth. Yeah.
Michael was
right,
talking
okay.
about that.
So
What's with wait? What's with this flat thing? I've heard it multiple times. So wait. So does this mean that there's an end somewhere where I can go and just fall? How does it work?
Okay.
What is the theory behind it?
A lot of people say, I don't know. I don't know if I can. For me, I've been told, look, the Earth is round, right? That's why I know the Earth is bloody round. You know, and now there are people out there who say no, the Earth is actually flat. So
it's a disc, like.
Yeah, and then there are people who are proving that. I don't know, what theories do people have, of people countering this Earth is flat thing, because the round thing, I mean, the Earth is round. This is what we were told. This is how it is, and we know that because it rotates around the sun. We know that because it's day and night, and stuff like that. So I don't know how a flat thing would have the sun moving. It's either we're moving. Or the sun is moving, or the moon is moving. So
we're according to them, Earth is just stable, it's not moving. So it's the sun moving and the moon and everything. So we
Exactly.
So the theory, I think flat Earth theory started off like in the 1950s, and people pushed on it to say, the world is like.
It seems like the 1950s started a lot of things, though. MP, everything is always 1950s. There's a few things I know about some of these things we're going to talk about. It's always 1950s. Go ahead.
So they seem to say they went on to say Earth is flat and it's like a shape of a disc, and when they take the picture from up high in space. You can see the vision of Earth being flat, not round, So they kept on pushing on that. And, people still believe, Earth is flat, and others believe that Earth is, a globe.
You know what?
Okay.
Some of these arguments I don't even listen to be honest. I mean, if I know the Earth is flat today, what am I going to do? That's the one thing I thought about. I said, why should I bother?
You try go find the end of it,
Yeah. I hear you.
So go on that.
I hear you. What's his name? So
is our guest ready?
He says he's ready. Yeah. So what's the next conspiracy, man?
No, let's ask, because he said he wanted to join, so we wanted to ask him that. What did he want to share with us? I'm pretty sure something caught his interest. and that's what he jumped on. So what do you want to share with us, man? He's on mute at the moment.
Unmute
Yeah,
him.
you might try to unmute him. Nope, can't unmute him. I don't know how you pronounce your name, so I'll go for Korean.
Yeah, you have to unmute. You have to unmute yourself.
Try to mute your mic, please.
I'm new on here.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing?
Oh, great. Oh,
yeah,
great.
not too
good,
bad.
man.
So,
Welcome, man.
Welcome to 5Roundz, man. Nice one for joining.
So soft, man.
And we lost.
I don't know what's happening, but it's really soft. I can almost not understand you.
Oh, really? Try. Well, just tell us the theory, and then we'll pick it up from there, and then maybe you can hear us when we reply to you.
Okay, let's carry on.
All right.
Okay, so cool. So as he's sorting out his stuff, I'll bring one of the ones that I've always been interested in, and obviously I have watched a few shows. I've watched a lot of documentaries about it. I'm going to bring the Diana one, 1997 August, in Paris. I've already locked my nose. Anyway, cool. So basically, I don't know which side you guys are on, but basically the conspiracy behind the whole thing is Diana said days before all that happened that she suspects that somebody's planning to assassinate her, right? Somebody's planning to cause an accident. So that's the theory behind it. But that one is true. So it's not just a theory. It's something that's actually true.
Did she say that?
Yeah, she said it. This is actually something
trying to assassinate her or cause an accident.
Cause the accident, yeah. So she said somebody's trying to cause an accident, and they've been playing around with my cars. But people are just saying hearsay. Oh no, we're not like they're not putting much attention. But she did say that, and all this is actually out there. Now, the whole thing where the conspiracy behind all this is there's a lot of holes in the story because first of all, not only did the area that they died was cleaned up and opened up the next morning after 24 hours. They didn't even spend so much time to do investigations and everything. The cameras, there was a lot of cameras in the tunnel, but there's never footage of where the accident happened. But the cameras were sort of moved away, like looking at the wrong direction from where the driving was happening. But the other thing that where also most of these people question is because apparently the guy who was driving was apparently drinking and was apparently on heavy medication. But the police at first, what they did is the first thing they did when they go to that scene is they took all the camera people who were chasing Diana and is it Dido or Dodi, whatever his name is, I think with the prince, the prince she was with. They arrested them for manslaughter because they were chasing the car. So they were doing a high chase with somebody. So they arrested them. And that was the case they were going with in France. But within a few hours, those people were released. And another statement came out and said, oh, it was the driver who was drunk. And he is the one who caused all this. Do you get it? Now, there's also a blame of the guy who used to be an MI agent. He has a background. Who was the bodyguard, who was the only one who survived all this. But that also that theory can be debunked because the guy's face was smashed up. So if you are willing to be part of this, are you willing to smash your face like that? Because it took a lot for his face to be brought back, and he's still scarred. He was still scarred and he was injured. But people were blaming him because he was part of the what? They were saying he was part of the whole organization. Now, here is more stuff to just put it out there because I'm going to let you guys decide that. Do you think, you can say, no, it was just an accident. Nothing happened. So here's another story of the whole thing. Apparently, supposedly, there's a claim by the father of the prince saying that Diana was pregnant. Now, let's not forget that the prince was not, was Egyptian. Remember? Egyptian.
Yeah,
so
Egyptian son,
apparently, the royal family was not going to be happy to have Diana, who's got a child who was from the royal blood, maybe the future of King yet and have a stepfather who's Egyptian, and who also has got a stepbrother who's also half Egyptian, so that he could have not loved that. That's the father. That's what the father claims, that he knows that. Now, at the hospital, when she went apparently where she was alive, according to many people, and after she was looked after at the scene of the accident, they did not do any tests because they said she was in a condition that they could have not done all that. It was already too late and she could have not survived it. While the people who were there and the witness there, who was shushed, according to many, was never taken seriously. Again, he was just brushed away. And they said, oh, when we took her there, she was not in 100% condition. So all these things, that's the reason why people say, I think this was a setup. But as I said, all this has been blamed on the driver because the driver was drinking, it was pinned. But the funny thing is, the police, the first thing they did was go after the guys who were taking pictures and racing with them. They said, you guys caused this. But as I said, within a few minutes, all that was changed and was blamed on the driver. Now, so that's the Diana whole theory, just in general, just on the general. So what do you think, MPN?
So you in this situation, you believe that she was, assassinated or whatever, planned.
For me, right? There's never smoke without fire, because if somebody says days before, which is open, saying I feel like somebody's messing around with my car, I feel like somebody's planning to do this. Again, that particular somebody, when years after, when one of the guys who I think the bodyguard wrote a book, or one of the people wrote a book, they did not want to give the name of who she mentioned again, but they sort of bailed it out. You know how the media is controlling there; they cannot say anything. But she said it, that those words are there. Even those, if you search right now, she says it. It's an open thing where she's saying, "I feel like somebody is gunning for me," but. The funny thing for me, the reason why I feel like there's something fishy is because some of these things don't make sense. Like, why would the cameras be looking the wrong way instead of looking this side? And how would certain cars that were involved just not be there anymore? And some of the statements saying, "Oh, the car that is missing, the white car, a Fiat that's missing, was in there." Was seen going in the tunnel, but was never seen going out of the tunnel. So there's just so much. But at the end of the day, for us, as everything that we were given is, it was an accident, it happened, and they are blaming it on the driver. And the driver, by the way, only had one according to records, he only had one shot of whiskey or something, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's establish the MP. So we established.
Yeah, go ahead.
The conspiracies around the death here. You mentioned quite a few interesting things, a few key things here. One of them was the cameras of where the accident happened. I believe it happened near a tunnel, right, in France.
Yeah, it was in a tunnel. Yeah,
a tunnel. So normally tunnels in France have cameras, and apparently that day those cameras were facing the wrong way or something like that. Yeah. Then there's the one about the guys, the paparazzi on motorcycles who were, I guess, harassing.
And causing the driver to speed. Yeah,
and then there was the driver who had too much to drink, and also supposedly had too much to drink. Then there was the medical care where they said they believed that they let her die. There might have been a little bit of negligence as well. Involved, and then there is the supposed bodyguard who is meant to be the greatest love of her life as well, who died in an accident as well. In 2004.
way before, and that's when she said, "You see, I was warning you. Somebody is gunning and is playing around with my car."
Yeah. Did he die before her? Or
I think it was before. I think it was before.
Wait, so it
was actually a bike. It was actually a bike. The
bike
was a bike. Yes. Yeah, it was a bike. Yeah. So she spoke after saying, "You see, I always say somebody's playing around with my stuff,
So the butler the butler actually snitched to say this is what she left behind.
Yeah, the butler is the one who wrote the book years after.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
But do you know what? This thing is not hidden. The whole thing of saying, I thought it was a hidden thing, but it's actually out there. Her saying these words, saying somebody is playing around with my cars. I feel like somebody is gunning from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, continue. What
Yeah.
I think they're trying to debug
No,
it.
I'm just trying for the sake of people watching, so we can understand and follow what's
Does
going
anybody?
on.
Okay, sorry for cutting you. Does anybody know why they keep people seeing they clean the place and open it the next day? Are you supposed to do that? Let's say, especially with somebody big like that, or it's a must because it's a very important tunnel in France, maybe in Paris.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not French. So I've never been to a French tunnel, so I wouldn't know really. I don't know why the cameras were like that. I don't know why they also clear the scene. I think normally it's after it's been investigated you clear the scene, but it depends, because if it's a tunnel that is only one way in, one way out, then maybe you have to. And also because of the attention that this was getting and what was going on at the time, you could see why they probably cleared the scene early.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
You could see why. I just want to read.
And before all this, MP, sorry, you can read the comment. Apparently, she was it was after the divorce thing. She divorced, and she was too open in the media. She was talking about like depression, how she's feeling, unhappy. Something the lawyers are not supposed to do, because in the lawyers you're supposed to keep it. The royal family, what stays that side.
Yeah, exactly. That was one of the things. Let me just read the comments and I'll come back to what you're saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
Edna says, "Look, I never understood the Diana case. I don't think it was an accident. It was all planned." Well, what makes you think that, Edna? I think this is what we're trying to find out. Like, was the conspiracy justified? Is there fact in this conspiracy? Because this conspiracy is normally an idea when you can't prove something, isn't it?
Would you believe in all respects, the father, the father of the prince, because he said his own thing, that this was the reason why I think the gun, because they were not going to be happy that somebody Egyptian has made somebody who was part of the royal family pregnant. Now they're going to have step brother, have your stepdad of the future king will be Egyptian. So anyway, let's move on.
So Edna says, "Look, I could be wrong. Nothing makes sense too many theories." And then they go on. Okay, and then Edna says the driver was set up too. Vanessa said, "Look, true. I'm with Patrick on this. I heard she was killed because she couldn't perform to the royal family standard." Yeah, this is a very good part as well. It's the why. Why did this happen? Why? What was going on for people to start thinking there's a conspiracy? Because normally there's a reason, isn't it? So yeah, that's what I wanted to ask, because we've just gone straight into, there was an accident. What was going on? What's the information?
What was going on in the house?
Yeah, what do we know basically?
There was a lot of things also. Like she was a celeb. To a lot of people, they liked her because she was down to earth. Don't forget she was one of the people who held somebody's hand with HIV or gave them a kiss. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things she was doing that the family doesn't do. Like she was. People looked at her as one of their own, and they apparently there was a time when she was actually becoming bigger than the woman upstairs herself, and it was something like, she's actually so it's Diana on TV. It's Diana. So yourself. It's the same thing. Like in human beings, there's always competition. Some are very competitive, like, you're taking the spotlight in this family, yet you're not even originally part of this family, But anyway, we'll never know. But there's a lot of things that are being questioned. Apparently, there's been a lot of requests of investigations that get shut down because apparently it is supposed to be investigated when accidents happen by England themselves. But anyway, we'll never know.
I think the royal family also, again, like you said, they didn't like how public she was. There were certain times she said, she also claimed when she was married to Prince Charles, she was like, she felt like she was part of a group, like
it was a trio.
She said that publicly, So there were things like that really, really irked the royal family and stuff like that. Obviously, her saying she was in danger and all these things, her the claims that she was taking the limelight, I guess it could cause people, and also the pregnancy thing, it could cause people to be a little bit jealous or, something like that. So this one, you can understand why there are conspiracy theories around it, unlike the 5G one, for example, or you can understand that there's reason for people to believe, okay, something's going on here.
True.
Unreal.
So
what
do
I say?
Comments again. So hold on a second. Comments again. Sorry. Edna says, in the royal house, there was too much going on. Diana was challenging the royal household. This is true. She says, "You're right, Vanessa. Diana was brave. She had no fear. She spoke her mind." Absolutely. Yeah, even the bodyguard tells you this, that this woman was something else, you know. There was a story I read. Michael Jackson was talking about, it's on YouTube. You can see it on YouTube. He was talking about when he performed in front of Prince Charles and Diana, right? Diana, they were at a party, and Michael Jackson was just standing there. And Diana comes in and says, "Look, you're performing tonight." He says, "Yes." And then she asked him, like, "Look, are you performing Dirty Diana?" And he went, "No, out of respect, I'm not performing Dirty Diana." And then Prince Charles, and she was like, "Yeah, but I like that song." And then Prince Charles comes and says, "What are you guys talking about?" And she goes, "Nothing." So you could tell that she was quite cheeky as well, you know. So
yeah, she was, man. She
Very
was.
outgoing.
But fair play to her. She looked after her children. She loved the children, and she wanted the children to be looked after by herself, not by anybody else, and be looked after by the way she wants them to grow up, you know. Install the principles and everything. So fair play to her, you know.
Yes.
And she did a lot of things for Africa. Let's not forget. So fair play
she
to
was
her.
loved. She was
Fair
loved
play, fair
in
play
the
to
Commonwealth.
Fair play to her.
So
Like,
none of us have said if it's these
Well,
theories are right or
we're waiting for Mr. Patso.
I think let's say I'll go with the conspiracy of JFK. So John Kennedy.
Whoa! Are we done with this one? Are we done with the damn?
Remember, I asked you, MP, that what's your decision on all this? Do you think that things happen, accidents happen? I go with the whole driver thing.
I think, to be real with you guys, the recent news that came in just like months ago, and what's going on the other end, I'll kind of pick it up to say, you know what, the way you say it, there's no smoke, you know, whatever and stuff. I would think something was happening, you know, in closed doors, and the most important thing is the jealousy kind of grew to the point of we have to take the person down, and if this person kind of breaks the family tree, is more of we have to take them down because we don't do this. We stick by the rules. We have to operate like this. So there is a chance of foul play in that situation.
Do you think it's also the fact that you know, like how they were divorced, for there to be a clear path for the prince to get married again, right? She didn't have to be there anymore.
Well, not necessarily. She can just relinquish her royal duties or something, or she can go and do something else. I don't think there was a problem with that. I don't think there was generally a problem. It was publicly known that for years that Charles was with Camilla. You know, it was known. So I don't think that was the big problem. The problem was normally started off when there was another one involved in Diana's life, and there were rumors.
It was more that way, and I'm pretty sure more where he comes from too. You know,
exactly
where he's coming from. Yeah,
different fathers.
Why do we men get so much hurt than women?
Well,
you know.
Well, again, this is the thing. You've got to look at what happened to Meghan and Harry, right? They didn't mention that it's the royal family exactly. They mentioned it was the institution. You have to understand there's an institution protecting the royal family. You know, these guys are not sat there analyzing the threat. Who's the next threat to the royal family? I don't think they're doing that.
Somebody who runs everything.
People hired to do that job, you know. So those people are the people we should be looking at, like, you know, what's going on here, you know?
So they have cameras around me, you know.
Supposedly one day maybe say the Queen would have said, "Oh man, I don't like Diana because she said something." The guys in the institution look at that and think, we don't want our Queen to be unhappy, or we don't want our Queen to feel threatened. You know what I mean? True. So you never know. In these kind of things, there are a lot of people involved. So you can't just point your finger at one person. You know,
that's true.
You never know. Even the family might know later that this is what happened, but they might never know what's been planned. Do you know what I mean? They never know. They just hear last minute. Here's the document. This is what happened. Let's move on. Cool. Right. So tell us, man. You're going JFK.
Jeez, I've got a lot of conspiracies and whatnot, but I stumbled upon the one for JFK, and as the questions like who killed him, because the conspiracy is who is JFK. So JFK is John Fitzgerald Kennedy, is it? If I'm not mistaken, that was the president of the U.S. and he was assassinated in the 1960s there. But the story is that, you know, how does the president go to one city and his assassinated, and there's so many conspiracies involved in this case, and till today they've not solved the case, and till today they never found the person that killed him. But there was
Oh,
a lot of people dying in this situation, you know. Say what?
go
Did
on.
somebody give themselves up? Is it
That's what I was
possible?
gonna say. Didn't they catch the person who supposedly killed him? Allegedly.
So, all right, so here we go. Here we go, right? So then Kennedy was more of the youngest president, the youngest US president then, to say, you know what? He's the one cracking down on crime. He's the one trying to, you know, resolve the civil wars and all that stuff. He really stepped up to be a really, you know, good guy to kind of shape the government in a better direction. But
Was
I
he the
think
guy cracking down on racism too?
yeah. He was really good as well on that. Like he saw, you know, people with color with a different view. He wanted to include them in every change that he was making. So I think there was a bit of a clash in the background. And then on the day that he went to visit Dallas, right? There was like situation was going through the parade and all that stuff, and the convoy was going through. But then on the certain street that was going through, he was shot. But the conspiracy now starts shaking up from there because people don't know if he was shot in like certain directions, and there were kind of like about 4 tall buildings around there, and the investigation went to say the bullet came from this direction, the bullet came from that direction, and even in that situation, the CIA and other, you know, special agents and stuff like that, agencies and stuff, they kind of altered the clip to favor their kind of like report, because there was the Warren report that came through, and the Warren report said, oh, the president was shot with 1 bullet, but then while they're investigating that, before that, people say, oh, there were 3 bullets. Some say, oh, we heard 4 shots out of that situation. So when they saw through all those clips, there was a kind of editing of the clips. And then the guy that was caught on the day that people say he was the guy, his name was Lee Oswald.
Lee Harvey
Os-
Oswald. Lee Harvey
Yeah,
Oswald,
so
yeah.
Lee Harvey Oswald was part of. He was a secret agent, but then he worked for that certain building on that day. He was an employee in that building, right? But when you dig past his past, right, you see that he was linked to like, yeah, he was ex-military, he was the KBG and stuff like that, and the likes of KBG was like assassinate or get assassinated, blah 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 and stuff, right? So this was more linked to the Soviet Union, and in that time, they didn't want to come on the news to say the president was shot by, you know, a Soviet Union kind of, you know, agent, because that would have started World War III in that situation. And the president that came through, the designated survivor, came through and said, you know what, let's conceal all this information and let's just say Oswald was just a regular person. He was working in this building, just something that his intent was just, you know, to get rid of him. And on the day that, you know, Oswald was, you know, caught in the streets while they were still trying to figure out what was going on, he was caught. Investigation went through. When he was at the police, what happened there? He got gunned down by the guy that was actually so close to the police at that time, and the guy there. So the guy that was so close to the police went to shoot Oswald, and then in that situation as well, Oswald, JFK, and that guy died in the same hospital in that situation. But then the investigation went on and on. So
wait, the guy who shot Oswald also died, did he?
Yeah.
Wait, what happened to him?
He also died. So in this situation of Oswald dying, right? Oswald dying, being killed by what's his name, Jack Ruby. Jack Ruby was the guy that shot Oswald. So now there wasn't any evidence to say how are we going to go on with this investigation, because then the main suspect.
So there were like, can I just ask something? Because I've never been into like this one. I've heard about it, but I've never gone deep into it. There was a movie I was supposed to see and it skipped me. I think there was a movie that came out. It was just a part of it. How did somebody who's very powerful like this? I know it's happened already with Abraham Lincoln, but that's a long time ago, right? But I'm talking about that, especially that time. These guys are so powerful, and I'm pretty sure when the president is passing, the same way as Malawi, you know what I mean? I don't know if you both of you have seen when Malawi president is coming. There's a bit of, they do searching, they search buildings, they make sure everything is intact. So how did this guy manage? Is it just because he has that background? Because I'm thinking that I'm pretty sure they would have done intensive searches. I'm pretty sure, because the president of America, I'm pretty sure they do a background check of everybody around where he's gonna pass to make sure that nobody can do that to him. Am I right or something?
Do you want me to answer that?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead.
so basically, he was in Dallas, right? So he was doing a presidential run in Dallas. That time the elections were close, right? So they needed to go to Dallas because Dallas was one of the places that he was least favored, right? So he wanted to win the trust of people of Dallas. Now, normally a presidential convoy riding in a limousine face to face with the public would have to have Secret Service agents around the vehicle, either running with the vehicle or on top of the vehicle. Because
it has to be covered, not open.
Well, something like that. If you see the vehicle behind him, it had Secret Service agents on the top of the vehicle. But it was John F. Kennedy's wish to not have the Secret Service agents surround the vehicle. He wanted to show that he's just a person, to gain the trust of the people. He wanted to show that he's not afraid, he's open to talk to anyone and stuff like that. He was trying to win the votes, basically. So one of his bodyguards said, look, but this is very risky. Why don't I stand at least on the vehicle? And he said no. And this agent actually stood on the vehicle, right? And he got off it and went back to his vehicle. And then when they turned the corner on Elm Street, this is when, the shots rang out. I just wanted to continue on the theory here. If I could just bring it back a little bit, if I could.
Go ahead, man.
Before I do that, let me read Vanessa's comment, because she said something about a cover up there. She says, look, so Vanessa says, look, there was a lot of cover up on the JFK assassination. Richard Byer wrote that many witnesses whose statements pointed to a conspiracy were either ignored or intimidated. So let me just go back a little bit to let's just piece these things together, because everyone who sit here and say, okay, he got killed, but for me, I wanna ask myself, why is there a conspiracy? Why did people want to kill him? Why did somebody think? Because he was loved, he was a loved person. Black people loved him, white people loved him. This is time when like oppression was high. So his brother, right? Here's another theory. His brother was the attorney general. Robert Kennedy was the attorney general.
He was fighting crime.
When Robert Kennedy got into power, his first mission was to end the mafia. He was trying to get rid of the mafia. Now, there were rumors that his family was in business with the mafias, so the mafia were selling alcohol illegally back in the day, and then prohibition came about and that stopped them selling alcohol. That's why they went on to other things like racketeering and everything else. So this attorney general, his brother, is going after the mafia, and the mafia was not happy. Now, don't forget, the mob then was one of the strongest criminal organizations in America. They had
very strong during those years.
Links to politicians, which means politicians were benefiting.
True.
There were politicians benefiting from this, and then the minute this guy becomes president, he goes, "I'm going after your money, but you were once the partner, allegedly."
You never do that.
Exactly. That's the first part. Secondly, he played a hand in ending the Cold War, if I'm not correct. That was another thing. Now, you got to understand, America is one of the biggest arms manufacturers in the world. So they provided arms to everyone. So ending this...
War is good business.
It's good business. So ending this might have ended that for people as well. That's the second part, right? Now, of course, being a president of America, you're an enemy of a lot of people. So there's all sorts of directions these things would happen. Now, let's go back to the day that it happened, right? This guy is in an open limo. He's driving on Elm Street, right? And Oswald is on the 6th floor of a building about, 45 degrees from where he is?
It was, a different angle,
Okay, so there's a family, witness, a family of a family of 4, a man, a woman, and their 2 kids lying down on a park next to this limousine, right? They hear 3 shots. Okay, so the video shows Kennedy getting shot. He sort of goes back a little bit, and then you see another one go straight to his skull, and then there's another one as well, right? There are a lot of things surrounding what happened in that moment. They assessed the camera angles because there were a lot of reporters, right? I hope I'm not stealing the show here.
No. Go
No,
on.
go ahead, man. Go ahead. Go
So
ahead.
there were a lot of.
You also educated me because as I said, I'm not very fond. I was like, I'm not very well educated in this.
Okay, so there were a lot of camera angles, right? One angle showed a guy. It was bright daylight, sunny. Showed a guy in all black with a black umbrella. They were like, why the hell is there a guy in a black umbrella when it's sunny in Texas? Yeah, in a suit. So they believe this guy is part of the CIA, and he was probably the point man or the guy.
The informer, the one giving information to everybody.
Or the guy who they aimed off, So they said, look, this is all going to aim off. That was one of the conspiracies. But the guy came out with his umbrella and said, look, I was protesting that day, because I think there's something that happened before with, his Kennedy's father was fighting a case somewhere against somebody who had a black umbrella, and he told the government, I was fighting a case. This is why I was there. I was protesting. I wanted to stand out that way. That's the first one. That's conspiracy gone, because a lot of people called him the Umbrella Man. If you've watched the Umbrella Company, you notice that in the Umbrella Company, it shows this guy as the Umbrella Man, and he's the one making sure Kennedy dies. But that's not the case. The second theory was the one that there was a second shooter. Because the theory was, if you're going to shoot from a building, the debris should it should spray out in maybe a set angle, right? But you know what happened? The vehicle is moving in one direction. Either sides, they're motorcyclists. So motorcyclist police, right? On the left side, they get hit with his skull fragments, brain matter, blood, and all these things. On the right-hand side, nothing. The guys were right next to John F. Kennedy. Clean. Yeah? Then apparently, there was a guy who was seen on the fence to the right of the vehicle, lingering. Yeah, because that's where a policeman heard another shot there. One of the second and third shots were heard from there. Okay. When they went to investigate, they found a man with mechanic-like hands, and he pulled out a Secret Service badge ID and said, look, nothing to see here. So they left him alone because it's Secret Service, isn't he? What they believe is he might have been the third killer or the second shooter, because he hid his weapon, stood there, and waited for everything to calm down, because they didn't investigate the car because, it's Secret Service. When they came back to check, he was gone. So the first theory was, I guess, Oswald, KBG. Second theory was the mob might have set all this up with the government. Third one is the Secret Service was involved with the that second shooter. So these are the three.
Yeah, it's deadly, man. It's deadly. So on that note, like when I saw that, like in that situation, I pretty much believe there was a bit of a background, foul play from the agents and stuff, and they pretty much wanted to clear something that they didn't want to they didn't have control of, because they feared the change that was coming with the man in power, So they couldn't be able to persuade JFK to be in the position to be in their favor, and they were more going to just say, we take him down, there's no any other conversation after this.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I believe he was taken down by his own people, but that's yet to be proven one day.
Yet to be proven, man. I think it's the mob. Don't underestimate the mob, man. Don't underestimate the mob.
And don't even say, like, you like on that theory where you've just told me, you can also tell that they had politicians inside saying, look, this guy is going after our money. Both our interests are in trouble.
Yeah. So
I didn't know that. Very interesting. Now I'm more interested to look deeper into that.
Yeah. I think it's the mob. That's what I think. That's the one. For me, that's the one that makes sense. But hey, Secret Service, you never know. But again, these guys are always in bed with loads of different people, man. So you never know.
Sleeping with
What do you
enemy, I
guys?
guess.
Yeah, exactly. You guys in the comments, what do you think, man? Everyone's just gone quiet. What's wrong? You sad or something?
I guess they're listening. They're listening to the JFK because that's a very interesting
Very,
one, man.
very interesting one, yeah.
And you know, one moment you might take it from one angle to say, oh, it's just one bullet, and then the next minute you're learning about the second shot, and then you're learning about the shot that was the Warren report. They say, oh, it was only one shot that went through. That shot, that bullet that went through there, the bullet that went through that one shot hit JFK, and it also hit the governor. So it was only one shot, and all of those explanations didn't fit till today.
No.
They don't fit, and the
No.
audios that were tested, they don't fit till today.
Exactly.
So lies over lies, you know.
I mean,
Did you guys hear me on the second camera?
no.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
No. So I mean, yeah. So it was
All
a
right.
mad one. It was a mad one.
So just to
Can I just, since we ran out of time, can I just go through one fast and then we can just rank them?
yeah.
How many do
Area
we do?
51, I just found out that some people just take things to the extreme. According to what I've just seen, do you know why that place? I don't know if you guys know why that area was made. It was specially made because planes used to be tested around where there's Russia, and then America was scared that every time we test in that ground, you never know if it will get shot down. But most of these planes, if you look at them, MP, the shapes are weird. They're weird planes. They're weird shapes. None of the planes that you can see from here have proper, just normal plane shapes. So what I think is people look at this and then they just say, oh, that's an alien spaceship. And most of these planes are tested, and these are tested obviously to be brought later on, like maybe at battlegrounds or maybe sometimes spy planes. So is it Eisenhower who was the president? So in 1952, he signed off on a sort of secret sort of building so that you can build in these areas. That's why it was called Area 51, because there's a lot of areas around it with numbers. So it was made Area 51. Now all these planes, if you look at the pictures, all the pictures I've been seeing ever since from the beginning. All the planes from Area 51 have got weird shapes, but they're being driven by a human being. There's nobody who has a green head in there. But according to people, just people, when they see this, they just go there. But the funny thing is, all the people who do it, none of them have actually had a proper video. The videos are always weird. Like it's always a weird video. It's always a weird picture from a distance. Oh, my camera, it was foggy. None of them have had a normal proper picture of an alien from Area 51 flying one of these planes, or one of these planes flying around. It's always, oh, look at this. Yeah, go ahead.
With the technology that we have now, people flying their drones and whatnot, no one has really gone through to Area 51 and
it's a no-fly zone. It's a
Really?
no-fly zone.
You're not allowed. You're not allowed.
God damn.
It's a no-fly zone. It's a.
I'm pretty sure you do that. That'll be blown up immediately, and you'll be fined.
Even the
You'll be
smallest
fined or
drone.
arrested. It's written on the gate. You'll be on the gate that you'll be fined or arrested.
Look. If this facility is the way I think it is, and you know, it's gonna have cameras everywhere. You know, I've been to a unnamed location in an unnamed country where I have never seen so many cameras in my life. You know, this is a fence. Let's say, for example, it's a fence. The fence is, say, from where the corner of the wall is to where I am, there are about 4 cameras there. Why do you need 4 cameras from here to here? So if you know, now in America, that place, Area 51, next to it was where they built the World War II atomic bomb, the nuclear bombs. That's where they built them. So they needed so much secrecy back then during the World War. They needed secrecy so that their enemies don't know what they're building. Don't forget that some of the bombers came from Area 51. Some of the scouting planes came, and when, like Patrick said, they're shaped weirdly, you know. So anyone lingering around there, seeing a weird plane flying around, will obviously think it might be a what.
And it's true. They made sure that even spies, civilian spies, nobody can just find information on that. It's like a dead zone. Exactly. So he signed off to make sure that they do, because those tests used to be done elsewhere, by the way. They used to be done in other places, but they say, let's just find a place. And that was the perfect, apparently, it's the perfect area to have all this. But people just see that. But the funny thing is, this theory here is every time somebody gives you a picture, the picture is always
not 100% focused. Get the 4K camera next time you take this picture, please. Catch it on 4K.
Yeah, and also, like, you know, there's a lot of people who argued a lot about this Area 51, where they were saying, look, you know, there's aliens, there's this, there's that, there's that. Think about it, right? If I'm somebody who is trying to test top secret equipment, yeah, and everyone believes there are aliens in there, yeah, what do you think I'm gonna run with? You know, what do you think I'm gonna say? Do I want you to find out that I'm testing top secret airplanes to win a war, or do I want you to think that I've got aliens here? You know, which one is going to keep you away? You know, which one's going to keep you
occupied,
but keep you occupied, keep you off the pace? You know, and this is exactly what it was. You know, people were saying that. Look, what if? You know, not even what if. These conspiracies that blew up saying the aliens here, there's this and that. You know, if somebody gives you certain information to go and think that there's aliens there, you're going to run with it so that they stop you from actually finding the actual information, you know? So,
True.
yeah, I don't, yeah, that
or
was...
maybe MP you buy it. Do you buy it that there is people outside doing experiments? And here's another thing, this is just me. If there is, if the aliens are being captured, do you think the other aliens are not going to start a war? You're like, you've captured our people for so long.
We'll be back. We'll invade you.
Yeah.
So
what if the ones that were caught are the rebellious ones, the one that just went to the market and were caught, and nobody knows where they are?
Oh, market, isn't it?
Vanessa here says no fly zone. They would blow your drone into smithereens. She also said, I think America wasn't ready for JF Kennedy's idealism. I think I agree with that, because JF Kennedy was the first young president, wasn't he? He was the first. Yeah, with several ideas. I'm sure that pissed a lot of people off.
Very open-minded guy, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we've got one more to go through before we finish.
Yeah. Run us through. You want to talk about, like, I've got loads. I've got 9/11. If you want to talk about 9/11.
It's top 5, man.
All right, so I'll just hit you up with a quick one of 9/11. I think so far this is the toughest conspiracy ever that I've actually come across, because on my end I feel like there is a lot involved, and there's a lot of concealing information and trying to blame it on the other person. The reality of it is, a plane is flying from one airport, and there's tracking of the frequency and stuff like that, and then it goes off radar and stuff, right? And then the next thing is it's crashing into the World Trade Center, right? While it crashes it, the problem is, does jet fuel melt metal? Can it take down buildings that are like all the way sky high and stuff? Yeah, go on, Patrick.
You're on mute.
Wait.
Yeah, go
on.
Yeah, because I think jet fuel burns at 1,500, and then if you think about metal, it's about 2,000. Then I think when something is burning for so long, even metal, if it continues burning in that fuel, it will eventually become weaker, and I think it will eventually start melting away, And yeah, that's what I feel. That's what I've always, because I was also part of that. Then I started seeing that when you start burning metal for so long and it's just there for so long, it becomes weaker. But anyway, you keep going.
All right. So to add on to the conversation there, and when 9/11 happened, the day before, right? There was 4,000 Jews, employees in the World Trade Center, and they received a message in advance to say, don't turn up for work, But
is there evidence for this?
There is, because then the count of the people that attended and that were, recorded on to say, these are 2,000 victims that were, at 9/11. And from the 4,000, there's only 2,000 Jews that were in this situation.
No, they didn't turn up for work, or they did? Sorry for cutting you. I'm very interested. Did they turn up for work?
The others didn't turn up. The others did. So there was a message that went in advance to say, don't turn up for work. So
knowing Montali, you would.
There's a
You're gonna pay me?
there,
No, I'm
there,
going.
there is a story of saying that there's the Jewish elite that knew about all of this. They knew that something was going to happen on that very day. But in that situation, people don't know if it's true or not. And in reality, is there a Jewish elite kind of like, society? We don't know.
Okay.
So in those conversations, sorry, my network is a bit bad in a way.
Can you answer me though? Because I see you're starting from the beginning, but with the timer, can I just ask something? So so all this you're trying to tell me here, you're trying to say that it was never the two planes, the fire started from inside. Is that what you're trying to say?
Two planes.
Was it just one?
One. It was one plane, wasn't it?
It was
somebody
two,
made
it
those
was
two
twin towers. It was twin towers. Right?
No, not the two buildings. Two planes. Is it? Was it two planes?
The two planes are one plane.
It's 1 and 1. 1 and 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I am today years old, knowing that. Anyway, for me, one of the arguments that I had was the way the building was destroyed, right? So both buildings, they sunk. They didn't fall. They sunk. It didn't make sense to me. Like, okay, if for example, this is a building, and this is the plane. If I'm gonna hit something here, how the hell do I go bang and this thing goes like that? Science just defies it. Science defies it because reaction equal opposite reaction, whatever it is, or force. The way you measure force and all of that. This thing should have at least tumbled that way because the plane is coming at force. If it's hitting a building, this building should at least tip somehow. Before just going. Wah. So there was a theory that is it possible that it was a demolition job? That there were explosives at the bottom of the building. Because this is what you do.
So what is the whole reason of doing that? What's the whole reason of doing all that?
Well, what's the theory of doing that? It's always money. I think it's always money at the end of the day. Because there was a guy who is now a billionaire because of this or something like that. I forgot who this guy is, but look. For me, it's the benefit of money. Think about the insurance that would have paid off for that, or whatever damages, whatever happened.
So it was paid out by the owner of the building.
I don't know. I'm just giving you a theory here. I'm giving a theory because based on what happened to the building, how is it the force of a plane taking down an entire building to start with, right? How is the force of a plane making a building sink? How is that possible? That was my question.
There's a lot of theories. There's another one say, it blows up. The plane blows up even before it hits impact. I don't know.
So talking about the insurance part, there was about 3.55 billion that was paid for the insurance. So you can only imagine that there's a story behind that. And those buildings were not supposed to be insured by the time that, all that was happening. But whosoever decided to insure those buildings, I think a month or some time before that happened, and they got money back from whatever just happened in that situation, right? This is a thing also to add on this conspiracy was the time the buildings were collapsing, right? BBC were reporting live, right? On the background, like a mile away or something like that, right? And they were recording all of this. And while the building was burning and everything, right? It was still standing at that point. But this clip went viral and some medias tried to censor this clip. And it's forever rolling into other people's, eyes and stuff to say, how is it possible that we can see that video that the buildings didn't fall right away, The buildings were still standing at the time you were reporting live. But then all of a sudden, everything just went shatter, So that's where everyone else is like, how is that possible? Because the buildings were still standing strong. And that means there was a structure holding from the ground to the top, right? So for them to just collapse like that, it was supposed to be the bottom that was not, withholding that stand, and just it all collapsed. So there wasn't any impact at the bottom. Everything was at the top. How does that collapse like that? And
Oh,
in that
so
sense,
basically, the story that we were sold that the plane was taken hostage, isn't it? And then
yes.
yeah, then it was made to crash there. So that story, people doubt that story, but they say no, this was an inside job, and the building was blown up, and it was just meant to look like that, so that the war in whatever can continue, right?
I guess
The
that
war
was
in
a cook up.
the
guess.
war in Iraq.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
it
I
can
guess.
continue because people were losing interest there. People wanted the troops to come back and the thing to end. So
Yeah, see, that's what Wantali hinted there to say, you know what, at some stage, America's got, the big business of arms trade and everything. There is a stop to say, what if we stop the business of arms trade? That means the arms trade would be traded only in the US because most countries don't, go about trading, arms, because most countries,
some do, but they we don't want to mention that country. It's in the
yeah,
north.
but
It's in the
but
north
then like
somewhere.
yeah, majority of the countries, like even in Ireland, like you won't have someone else walk into a shop and buy a gun. That's not the case. Like
Yeah,
so
and Ireland is neutral. I just found out that in everything it's neutral.
they don't. Yeah, they don't do that kind of stuff. But anyways, guys, on that note, if you are just joining us there today, we're talking about the top 5 conspiracies, and myself, Antali, and Patrick, we've shared our own experiences
Wait,
and
are
talked
we
about.
are we going to rank them? Because it's a top
Yes,
5. So are we ranking them?
definitely. So, from what we've actually talked about there just earlier on, we've talked about the death of Princess Diana. We've talked about JFK. We've talked about Area 51. And Wantali, what was the topic there again? Oh,
So Princess Diana, JFK, Area 51, COVID. So 5G, just put 5G. Let me just write that down.
Boom,
The
boom,
other
boom.
one. What is the other one? So Area 51, COVID. And the last one was 9/11.
9/11. Yeah.
And 9/11. Okay, I'll just put that in there. So this is what we spoke about today.
Yep.
So guys,
How are we ranking them? Are we ranking them from ones where we say we don't believe this, or the ones that are
Yeah, the ones that you believe, they say would be 1. The ones that you don't believe will be going up to 5.
Okay.
Yes. So there we go,
Well,
folks.
Yeah, we've already got so guys in the chat. So as Pato said, look, the top 5 is going to be like this. Which one is believable? Which one's the most believable, and which is the least believable? So the most believable number 1, the least believable number 5. So rank them in order, in whatever order you want, guys. So yeah. So 9/11 is taking number 1 from these guys. They're like 9/11 is
9/11.
I would put Diana as number 1.
All right,
we got 9/11 as number 1. Okay, what about number 2, guys? I mean, actually, we should start with what the hell? We should start with number 5. But anyway, what about number 2, guys?
Yeah, give us number 2. We're gonna write this in the description, isn't it? Yeah.
So number 2, Vanessa says JFK. What do you guys think?
Number 2, my number 2 would be JFK. My number 1 would be Princess Diana.
Yes, I said. Yep. Number 3, Princess Diana. Number 4. Yeah. Okay. So we've got votes here. So we got Vanessa going. Look, Princess Diana number 3. What do you guys think, man?
Yeah. What do you guys think of number 4, though?
Number 4.
Let's leave it to the audience, and so that we will have the ranking.
Yeah. So number 4.
Yeah. Number 4, Area 51.
So Area 51, number 4 by Vanessa, and then finally number 5, COVID. She says. So okay, I think Vanessa's got it right here. 9/11. I don't know. I could swap 9/11 for JFK. I think I could swap it that way. I could go JFK, then 9/11, and then so JFK, 9/11, Princess Diana, Area 51, then COVID. That's what I guess we all agree that the 5G one was the least.
Yeah, but the 51 also is a bit. Anyway, the 51 sometimes you never know. You never know.
Yeah, unreal. So guys in the
Can
comments section,
can we just do the shout out to the moon landing though?
Ah!
Okay, so what are we agreeing on here? So number one is,
JFK?
well, they said 9/11.
Oh, 9/11. Oh,
I said JFK. Pastor, what do you think?
I say Princess Diana,
Princess Diana
and my second was JFK.
And Patrick, number one.
mine was Diana also.
Diana. So we got 2 for Diana, 2 for Diana, 1 for JFK, and 2 for 9/11. We need a tiebreaker here, man.
You go on.
Let's go with the audience though. Let's just go with the audience.
Go to the audience. Okay, so number one, 9/11.
Yeah.
There is a bit of feedback apparently. Someone's got feedback. So in the chat saying there's feedback. Hello. It's Patrick. It's Patrick straight away. Patrick giving us feedback. Yeah, okay. So number one, 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, what is it? JFK. JFK. Number three. Apparently we're breaking up. Can you guys hear us okay? Just let us know in the chat.
I think early on it was Patrick's feedback there.
Okay, so number one, 9/11. Number two, JFK. Number three, Princess Diana.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Princess Diana. And number four
is Area 51, is it?
Area 51.
And number 5, 5G.
5 was 5G. 5G.
And
okay, so they can hear us properly. Okay, so I'm just gonna post that. So yeah, official 5 rounds according to what we've discussed. Number one, 9/11. Number two was JFK. Number three, Princess Diana. Number four, Area 51. Number 5 was 5G. 5G.
And there you have it, guys. That was 5 rounds. Top 5 conspiracy. Yeah. Theory. So at this moment, guys, we just have to finish up and close this show. Thank you for being on with us, and we really appreciate.
Before we close the show, though, I have got one more thing. I mean, this was meant to be presented by somebody else, but yeah, let me just show you what we've got tomorrow. So, guys, tomorrow we've got a live show on YouTube. We've got a special guest coming on. The special guest is Mr. Owen Colhan. He's called Mr. Owen Colhan. He is a famous comedian. He was what was that movie that he did? He was in this movie. You see, I'm going to be terrible for this. Owen Colhan. Hold on a minute. So Owen Colhan was well known. He was known as Buzz McDonnell in the Harvey Bucks series. So he had a series in Ireland called the Harvey Bucks series. Well followed. Literally, he made a movie that cost him about 170. I think it was 170,000 euro, and they grossed over €500,000 for this. So he's a big deal. Funny guy. We're excited to meet this guy. Guys, please make sure you show up tomorrow. Ask him questions. Look him up. Google him, man. Google him and ask him questions tomorrow. So we can make it the most interactive show ever. Come on, guys. We haven't been live. We haven't had a live interview for like a few months. So we need you guys to turn up. So tomorrow, 7 p.m., guys, be there. OV2 Nice will be leading that show. So yeah, all the energy and all of that. Back to you, Mr. Mpaso. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you for being on the show. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and set up your notification bell there. So we're on every Fridays. You catch us live on YouTube. And then on the weekends, we're coming back soon. Just stay tuned. We're coming back soon for the weekend. So you catch us live on IG Live soon. So just have that in mind. We'll be talking about that soon. So thank you for being with us and talking about the top 5 conspiracies. We'll see you soon. That will be tomorrow. And talking to Owen. Bye for now. 5 rounds.
Safe.